Okay, this is a slideshow to explain to you absolute pitch on a bass clef staff. So you may or may not have already watched the treble clef one, so we're just going to go through the lines and spaces one more time in case you have not yet. There are 5 lines and 4 spaces in every single staff. It always starts from the bottom up. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and then in between those are the 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. There are different kinds of clefs that sit on the staves. So this is a bass clef. Kind of looks like a little half heart situation. And there are 2 dots. The dots are what's important to know where the F line is. So this line in between those 2 dots is the F line, which is also why we call this sometimes the F clef. So the 4th line up is the F line, which is in between those 2 dots, the F clef. So if we know where F is, that kind of helps us know where the rest of the letters are, as long as we know how to use the musical alphabet. Musical alphabet starts with A and then goes all the way up to G. When we get to G, it goes back around to A. So it's going to keep repeating A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And if we're going down, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A. Okay? Just a continuous circle. No other letters but those. So we know where F is over here. The next thing we have to know is that we always have to use lines and spaces. So we start on a line here. Our next letter up in the alphabet is going to be a space, and then a line, and then a space. Same thing down. Line, space, line, space. Always. So we start on F, and we're traveling up. From F, we go to G, and that's that space. From there, we go around, as we did over here, to get to A again, and that's a line. Up from A is B, and then up from there would be C, D, E, and F, which we'll get to those in a second because they're a little bit different above the staff. Coming down from F works the same way. We start at F on our alphabet, and we go down to E, which is a space. Down to D, line, down C, space, down B, line, down A, space. Then we have to circle all the way back around to G, line, F, space. So all the lines and spaces are covered. You can get to all of them by walking up and down the musical alphabet. Now, we already talked about having to travel on line space. So we start on a line. The next one has to be a space. Then it has to be a line. Then it has to be a space. This doesn't only happen on the staff, but above and below the staff as well. So if we are looking at what we already have here, and we want to travel up past the staff or down below the staff, we still have to follow these rules. So B right there is a space. There's no line going through it. It's on a space. If we want a line above that, we're going to travel up to the next line, which we have to create. It's called a ledger line. So line, then space above that line, then another line, and it would continue and go space, line, space, forever and ever. Same thing on the way down. F is on a space because there's no line straight through that note. Space, line, space, and then we would have another line. So walking up, it works the same way. We're moving space to line. So B goes from B to C, and then C to D, D to E. On the bottom, we have F down here. So we start at F on our musical alphabet, walk down to E, down to D, would continue C, B, A. Just walking up and down the alphabet. So you can get everywhere you need to go by just walking up and down the musical alphabet. But if that's a lot of stepping for you, we also have kind of little cheater sayings that help remember where the lines and spaces are with the musical alphabet. So just like your lines and spaces, we are always going to travel from the bottom up with our sayings. The saying for the spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces in bass clef, is all cows eat grass. The saying for the lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are George Bush drives fast always. And if you have heard these before, there are a ton of different things that you could say as acronyms for this. So you might have heard different ones. Another one for this would be Girls Bake Donuts Friday Afternoon. They're just silly little sayings that help you remember. But George Bush drives fast always is a good one, as well as all cows eat gas. So if those help you remember, then use those. If you'd rather just use the alphabet, that will also get you where you need to go. You still need to know how to use the alphabet, because even if you know George Bush drives fast always, you have to know after that always, how are you supposed to step up? Well, you walk up the alphabet, A, B, C. Or walk down the alphabet from the bottom, George, F, E, D. So you still need to know those things. Either way, whatever works for you, the goal is that eventually when you look at a bass clef note, you kind of have it memorized and know what the note is immediately. So the quizzes that we take will help you with that kind of memorization. Those tricks are some to help. All right, you've made it to the end of the PowerPoint, so now we're going to go to Google Classroom and do the quiz. So if you go to your classroom, whatever your classroom is, I'm in the treble one, click on classwork, and then you have a bunch of stuff loaded. You need to find the bass clef absolute pitch, and then click on the link, and then take the quiz. So I'm going to just kind of speed through it instead of talking through it like I normally would, just so I can kind of get to the end and show you a little bit faster. Okay, I'm just going to start clicking now. Great, I got a 15 out of 20. So now I want to view my report. Type in your name where it says sign your report. Then click sign report, and it gives you this link. You want to copy that link, go back to classroom, go to the question that it was absolute bass clef. There should be a little spot for you to like type your answer in there. So paste that link that you got from here, paste this link into that answer, and then click the submit or answer post button. Once you're done with that, then you are done with this video. Thank you very much.